Barbie, bitch.
Hello everyone and welcome to an Anime Club After Dark special. My name is Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight I have our chivalry of Shota's Shotaro.
It's Barbie, bitch.
That's just like the one you did last week. Anyway, tonight we are talking about episode 8 of Sarazanmai. So show!
Me.
Something we find out in this episode is that Toei and Kazuki used to know each other as kids.
What the fuck?
I know.
That's just so, to me, okay, when I first saw that scene, I thought, it was a dream and it didn't actually happen because what they were saying...
I thought it was a hallucination.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense. And
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? First of all, I thought that... Well, Kazuki said that he is he doesn't feel like he connects. And I'm like, what time period is this? He looks so young. Is this before or after his brother gets crippled? Because he looks young.
Younger.
Yeah, I think it is before his brother gets crippled, but maybe after his grandfather dies. So maybe that's why he's feeling low.
Maybe. I mean, that would make sense for sure.
Because, I don't know, the way Kazuki said it made it seem like he knows everything that the current Kazuki knows, which is clearly not true, but that confused me. That was the first problem. And the second problem was that Toei gave Kazuki his Misanga, which I assumed that Enta gave him, but apparently not, which really confused my brain. And I'm like,
yes. What
is happening?
Someone's messing with the space-time continuum, man.
Something's messing with my... I don't know.
With your fucking headcanon of Kazuki and Enta getting together?
Literally, this show ships Kazuki and Toei as much as it ships Kazuki and Enta.
I would agree with that, actually.
Kazuki is just a whore.
He is, yes. And he is fucking oblivious to everything.
Typical,
just like everyone who gets fucking confessed to by another guy in an anime.
Typical anime protagonist. They never hook up with anyone.
Nope. And totally oblivious to all the fucking shit around them. So I don't even know how to move on from that, really.
And also, apparently, what's his face? Toei introduced the, weird pose that they do. He got that from Toei. Kazuki got that from Toei.
Yeah, that was interesting to
also
know as well.
My mind is being fucked right now.
Also, in this episode, we got to see I guess it was a short flashback of how Enta and Kazuki first met. And I thought it was funny that he's reading a soccer magazine that has a soccer player on it named Lionel Kappa. So for people who may not know, there is an actual professional soccer player called Lionel Messi. And I think that's who it's supposed to be referencing.
I was hoping you would know who it's referencing because I didn't even try to figure it out.
I found that funny too. And then
wait, and isn't Lionel also doing the pose?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't Toei he got it from. It was from
I just find it funny
Lionel.
that anyone who has even anything remotely to do with soccer in this show does that same pose.
I want to know what that pose is. I know there's a deeper meaning.
Know.
I know there's a deeper meaning.
I don't know. I do know that there's a lot of professional soccer players that will do salutes to the crowd if they score a goal, but I've never seen a pose quite like that. I mean, I don't watch soccer necessarily regularly, but I watch it occasionally, especially professional soccer, and I've never seen any kind of pose like that after someone scores a goal.
How can you say you watch soccer when you haven't even seen Lionel Kappa play?
Lionel Kappa. Oh, man. So, something else. I really want to talk about the otter cookies.
Okay, go ahead.
Mabu's gives some otter cookies to Reo, and Reo says they're half baked.
Okay, no, like Reo like has a reaction, and I'm like, oh no, what is in the cookies? I was like, is there cum in the cookies? Because I know how those cookies.
God.
I know how those cookies were baked, and that was not sanitary. Okay. And then he says they're half baked, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so quirky and funny, because that's such like a figurative, like phrase, and for a cookie to actually be half baked, that was just so funny. I don't know what it was trying to say, though.
Well,
it's clearly
so
trying to say something, but I don't.
I did have a thought about that.
Uh-huh.
So I think it could be a reference to the fact that Reo, like, internally is struggling with the fact that he doesn't want to let go of Mabu, but he still is in love with this sort of doll, this replica, and the replica is sort of a half-baked, half-true version of what Mabu was.
That could all be true. It could also be true that they're half-baked cops and they don't do their job.
That is also another reference, perhaps. Perhaps you're right. Oh my god. This could be taken so many ways. So something else that we see in this... So we find out... We actually found out in the last episode, really, that Toei is wants to leave with his brother because his brother is leaving, and we definitely get confirmation of that in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Toei wants to take some time to think about it. I'm assuming by himself, to kind of mull over the consequences of doing one thing or the other. And one of the things that happens in this is Enta goes on. I'm gonna call it a date. I seriously am. Because that's what it's fucking like. Enta ends up going on a date, more or less, with Kazuki, or with Chikai, Toei's brother. And I thought the whole thing was fucking weird. Because he meets Chikai in this, like, pseudo pachinko parlor thing. And they're giving out fucking candy instead of money. What's going on? What's going on, show? Help me.
I don't know. Wait, they were giving out candy? I thought those were chips. Like, poker chips.
No, I mean, that's what it seemed like. That's what they were giving out instead of money. And it seemed to be like a pseudo pachinko game that they were playing.
I don't think it was that odd. I feel like, there's a lot of anime where teenagers go play pachinko on their spare time.
I guess, but certainly, I'm assuming that in that instance, I mean, legally, there's got to be an age limit to play pachinko.
I don't think there is.
It's gambling.
It's like an arcade game, though. Like, you gamble in arcade games.
I don't. Maybe.
Isn't it literally
maybe
the
I'm
same?
Maybe I'm looking way too deeply into this.
Like, even like, I think, is it like Chuck E. Cheese's? I don't know if it's Chuck E. Cheese's, but they're like, Chuck E. Cheese's has like a arcade in it where you like you can buy tokens and then you gamble with the tokens.
Tickets.
Huh?
You play games, and the games, depending on how well you do, will give you tickets, and you can take them to the counter and exchange the tickets for prizes.
So that's the exact same thing.
There's a big debate about that whether that constitutes gambling. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that it was pachinko, and pachinko's linked so heavily with adult gambling in Japan. Oh, and the Yakuza too, yeah.
Is it? I've heard it is.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I understand, it is, like, gambling, as far as I know, is illegal in Japan, but the pachinko parlors are allowed to stay in business because when you go in there, they don't give you money. Like, you exchange money for these balls, and then they give you a certain, like, colored balls when you leave, and you can come back and get more. But from my understanding, what you do is you go basically around the corner from the pachinko parlor, hand the colored ball to a Yakuza, the Yakuza gives you money.
I see.
That's how they get away with it.
Sure.
I could be wrong about it. Anyone who knows how actual pachinko parlors work in Japan, feel free to correct me on that. But that's how I understand that they work, to get around the gambling laws in Japan. Anyway, that's not really relevant to the actual episode. The point is that Enta goes on this sort of Alice in Wonderland type date with Chikai, and I learns quite a bit about Toei in the process.
So Enta knows who Chikai is, but Chikai doesn't know who Enta is.
Yeah.
And I forget how Enta knows who Chikai is.
You know, I was wondering that myself because unless they had met previously, I don't know. I was really wondering that because I don't remember them ever meeting face to face in a past episode.
Maybe he just knows his name is Chikai.
Maybe that could be.
Maybe.
Anyway, getting back to the actual episode, something else that happens in this is we see Kepi and Azuma Sarah again colluding against the otters in a very hysterical way. So the whole freezing machine. So let's talk about the freezing machine. That was hysterical, because you see that it's like, oh, let's use this machine that'll freeze them in place, and then Kepi's all like pushing in the buttons and everything, and then Azuma Sarah's like making some fucking like dinner or whatever shit, and she just throws a bunch of pepper on it, sneezes, kicks Kepi into the machine, and freezes Kepi.
So Azuma Sara cooking and eating is so surreal, typical of this show. It's not like just out of nowhere. Very like traditional comedy where it's
gag comedy basically. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, let's just do this random thing. But I really found it so funny that Azuma Sara's sneeze was a Dishu.
Dishu!
That was, I really enjoyed that.
Instead of Achu, it's Dishu!
It was very funny.
And something that we actually found out in this whole process was that Reo and Mabu and the Otter, was it Otter Empire?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Keikoku
Has captured Dark Kepi. Now, we're not actually told what Dark Kepi is, but just judging from how it looks like what Dark Kepi is, I'm assuming it's like an anti-Kepi.
I don't know. That caught me off guard. I'm like, when did we introduce Dark Kepi? Like, what the fuck is this? I thought it was, okay, I thought it was the silhouette of an otter, the otter scientist. But I'm like, I thought that was an otter. It's not Dark Kepi. I don't know. It's very confusing.
It was a little bit like, what's going on? What are you doing? So something else that happens, obviously the jig is up with Enta after the last episode's leaking sequence, and everyone knows that Enta was the one that was vandalizing the soccer spot and basically betraying the two of them, the Toei and Kazuki. And so Enta is basically laying low throughout this entire episode, not interacting with Toei or Kazuki.
I like how, I just wanted to say, when Enta was on his date, in quotation marks, with Chikai, and then they, well, actually, I guess this is moving on to the next thing. So,
yeah.
So, like, they get caught by police officers. Specifically Reo and Mabu, and no, okay, before that I got confused. Like, one of Chikai's old Yakuza enemies finds them, and then Chikai just kicks Enta towards the Yakuza and
right
runs
in front
off.
of his sword.
Yeah, and runs off by himself. I'm like, what a dick.
It's like he kicks him toward him. He's like, feet, don't fail me now.
I'm like, okay, I had a somewhat favorable opinion of, like, what's his face? Of Chikai, because all that we've seen him doing so far is doing and selling drugs, which I'm like, okay, I can accept that. Torturing people, but not killing them. I'm like, sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to get the goods in the right hands, you know? Like, I can accept that. and covering for his brother when his brother shot the other guy, which I'm like, okay. I thought he was like forced into the criminal world. Like, he's a good person on the inside, but he was forced into being a criminal because of his circumstances. But now I'm like, you're just a shitty guy. Like, what are you doing? You know that Enta is your little brother's friend, and you're just gonna throw him at this like crazy man with a katana. Are you kidding me? Okay, so my opinion of Chikai has gone down, because like that was mean.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it kind of solidifies the fact, at least to me, that Chikai is kind of a coward. Like, he does these things, he gets himself into trouble, and then he tries to run away from it constantly.
I guess so. I guess like you could say he's more like selfish.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it a coward.
He's certainly cowardly in that particular situation, for sure. Because he just throws some random guy that has nothing to do with this right in front of a fucking sword. That was coming for him. But yeah, that definitely happened in the episode. We also find out that Mabu and Reo have like these little otter pins they can flick on people to make them become like thools or something.
Sure, why not?
That was interesting. I'm like, well, why didn't you just do this with the whole fucking police force?
Well, that's a lot of pins.
That is a lot of pins. Maybe they only have one each. I don't know. But so, anyway, towards the end of this episode, Enta finds his way back to Kazuki. And Kazuki basically grabs him and says he doesn't want anything to do with him anymore.
Yo.
Because he feels betrayed by what I'm assuming was essentially his best friend.
Kazuki is such an idiot. Why can't you see what Enta is feeling?
I thought it was like the idea of cutting ties with someone.
I mean, I can understand that, Kazuki doesn't. I don't understand why Kazuki doesn't understand Enta, but Kazuki doesn't understand why Enta stole the dishes. So he's like, you just randomly stole the dishes, and now one of my close friends is like gone forever. So like, you're a huge dick. I can understand that. But I can't understand that at the same time, Yeah.
I can, I'm the same way. Like, I can understand it, but if you just sit down and talk with him and fucking acknowledge the fact that he, like, confessed to you, you might get past all this shit.
Yeah.
Even if the answer to Enta is no, at least it's out in the open and you acknowledge it.
This is what you get for being a sloppy gay.
Exactly.
No one likes a sloppy gay.
Nope. And so what this ends up leading to, so Reo and Mabu show up, and they're gonna basically shoot Enta with their magic gun that has a fucking like yield sign on it or whatever
not,
shit.
Not a phallic metaphor.
Not a phallic metaphor at all. And they shoot Enta, and actually they were aiming for Kazuki, but Enta like stood in front of it and took the shot for himself.
Well, obviously this is Enta. He's like head over heels for this idiot.
Mm-hmm. But then like instant regret from Kazuki.
God, what an idiot! I'm like, if you just had some foresight, maybe you shouldn't have been a dick to someone you care about. Kazuki, and now you regret it. Oh, look at that.
Yep. And then you get to the end card, and it's I want to connect but we'll never meet again, and you're thinking, oh shit, he's like legit dead.
So like usually the end cards are a good summation of what the characters feel, but this end card is more like foreshadowing. And not in a good way.
Yeah.
Not a good foreshadowing.
No.
Yeah, but
no.
The end card made that scene so much more intense.
Yeah, because you think like, well, this is fucking permanent. Fuck.
Yep. Well,
and it's almost like
I didn't think it was permanent, but I was 50-50. I was on the
fence. You think like, well, this story has taken a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's just where it ends, so we don't know what's happening with Inta. Is he dead? Is he gonna be brought back to life? Is there gonna be a MacGuffin that Kepi pulls out of his fucking ass to bring him back alive? I don't know.
Probably, literally, out his ass.
Yeah, well, there's so many ass metaphors in this. Something will get pulled out of someone's ass eventually.
I'm pretty sure it already has been.
Yeah, not wrong. And on that very pleasant note, that is our review of episode 8 of Sarazanmai. Thank you all for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it, because we always enjoy bringing this stuff to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can join us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Shoot us an email if you have any questions or comments, or if you have any ideas for topics you would like us to look into in the future. Links to all these things will be down below in the description, and don't forget to tell us what you thought about episode 8 of Sarazanmai down below in the comments. As always, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, show.
Alex.
Yes?
I have a secret I can't share with anyone.
Oh, really?
Find out next time.